post of professor at Behran, Maharashtra College of Commerce, acting as a coordinator of research and postgraduate MCOM courses run by the college. Total experience of more than 30 years. His education qualification is MCOM, MPhil, DTL, PhD set. Uh, he has taught around 20 subjects in commerce and management at UG and PG level. Six research scholars have been awarded degree and nine research scholars are currently working uh, under his able guidance. And he has also presented research papers at national, international, state level conferences, also published research papers. He has also co-authored seven books in the subjects of marketing management, office management, business administration, and principles of economics. He has been active at the university level as a subject expert for selection of teachers, member of Scott Committee for University Examination, chairman and moderator of paper setting committee at UG and PG level examination. Also worked as a district coordinator for a practical examination, then member of local inquiry committee appointed by the university. Invited as a resource person for refresher course organized by the university. Also, he has been the member of delivered lecture at SETNet workshop of University of Pune, Savitribai Phule Pune University. Then panel member of PhD interview selection committee. Then special invitee for syllabus setting of subject of marketing management and observer and evaluator of Avishkar research project competition at state level. He has also worked in the colleges in various positions. At social level, he's also worked as a presiding officer for Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha election, then member of Census Program of Government of India. Also, he is president of Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad Maharashtra, a national level student organization, then member of Pune University College Teachers Organization, then board member of Vidyapit Vikas Manch at Center for Education Development Administration, and member of Shaniwarpet Yuvak Agadi and resource person as Rajda, also as a resource person at Training Center of Cooperative Department, Government of India. So it is indeed a pleasure and honor for all of us to have him here as a resource person. So again, I welcome him and I would now hand over the proceeding to him. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for introduction. Sir, I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir. और आपका
Yes, yes.
कैमरा बंद है
Thank you.
सिर्फ सर, कैमरा बंद.
कैमरा शुरू रखना है क्या? ओके
नहीं नहीं ऐसा जरूरी नहीं, आपके नेटवर्क में भी इशू आएंगे, बंद ही रहने दीजिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम
हाँ
सर.
ठीक है ठीक
और ये पार्टिसिपेंट को हमने म्यूट कर कर रखा है सर, क्लास में डिस्टर्ब नहीं होना, तो आप अगर कोई
ओके
हैंड रेस करता है तो आप ही अनम्यूट करिए सर उन्हें.
नो प्रॉब्लम नो आई विल
ओके
डू
ओके सर, ओके ओके, आई विल टेक योर लीव सर, आई विल टेक.
यस सर थैंक यू सर so let us begin this session as all of you are aware that on 29th of July 2020 National Education Policy draft of National Education Policy, it was accepted by central government, and since then discussion, debate, lectures, seminars, webinars, roundtable conference, number of ways that NEP, that is National Education Policy, was well accepted in the sense it was informed through different ways, what I said, seminar, webinar, etc. Now today it is December 2024, so almost 4 years and 4 months are over after the declaration of NEP. As all of us, we are in the same fraternity, that is educational fraternity members. So I hope that many of you, or maybe all of you, or some of you, whatever, have go through with the document published by NEP committee. It is available on net also. That is comprehensive document, complete document of almost 480 plus pages, and a gist of NEP. It is 63-64 pages. Number is not a matter, but the gist is also available and complete document is also available on net. That time also, or that time only. And after 4 years or within these 4 years, UGC, various governments, including central government or different state governments, universities, colleges, they are in the process of implementation of NEP. So now the question is of implementation. So as I said, in the year 29th of July 2020, NEP was announced, accepted, and unfortunately 2021, 21, 22, all over the world we experienced corona, and that is why entry, impact, effect of corona, it was continued till academic year 23, unfortunate. And that's why what I said in the beginning, that from 29th of July 2020, all of us, we are familiar with, or now we are seasoned with, in a way, of this online mode. Now we are very much favor to have an online discussion, online meeting, online lecture, online research, online survey, online whatever. Plus minus both, but reality is this. So during these 3 years, 20, 21, 22 up to 23, throughout the country, as I said, discussion, debate, conference, seminar, webinar, etc. were going on. Well accepted, with few exceptions, but no one has started to implement NEP up to 23. Reason may be obvious because of corona. But after 23, in some states, now also in some states, not in all states, it has started. As I belongs to Maharashtra, so in Maharashtra, state of Maharashtra, we have started to implement NEP in higher education or at higher education from academic year 23 onwards, particularly those who have autonomous colleges. So the decision taken by government of Maharashtra that all autonomous colleges, 87 plus autonomous colleges were there that time. Now the number has increased. They started to adopt, implement, practiced NEP at higher education level. And from this year, that is academic year 24-25, for which we belongs to this year. This year NEP started in Maharashtra in at higher education level in all colleges, irrespective of autonomous or non-autonomous. I am referring traditional education. So now we are in December 24. The reality is, or the ground reality is, in Maharashtra particular, NEP at higher education started in its full capacity at higher education. Again, I am underlining. Why I am referring higher education time to time? As because all of you might aware, or I am sure that all of you are aware, and you need to aware rather, about the structure of NEP given in the format or given in the document, given in the policy document. And that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. As this course belongs to higher education group, those who are teaching at first year, second year, third year, last year, fourth year, whatever, at higher education, UG and PG in a way. For them, the structure, what I said in the beginning, 5, 3, 3, 4 is not that way very applicable directly. And that is why it is my experience because I delivered some lectures on number of lectures on NEP to higher education group in front of higher education group experts, then they are least interested as well as least bothered as well as least knowledge about this 533 structure. Reason may be obvious because it has no direct concern with them, because the student who appeared at undergraduate level is obviously 12 standard pass plus 2, and all the structure which is mentioned 5334 is up to 12th only, up to junior college in Maharashtra plus 2. So that is why senior college teachers and senior college fraternity members, what is their perception, that those who have joined at undergraduate level or postgraduate level or PG or MPhil, now MPhil is not there, but okay. So we will focus to that group only. But the structure which is given 5334, underline assumption and underline prerequisite rather, unless and until we started or we will start to implement NEP since early childhood care education. I hope you heard this term here before. EC, GC, early childhood care education. Very interesting and very philosophical and theoretical and conceptual term. Early childhood care education from the age of 0 to the age of 6. When I referred this early childhood care education, then some of or many of or all of or few of friends of senior college higher education group, they said that it is not our part of, we are not concerned with. Why to take into account, why to consider, why to bother, why to relate, why to whatever? Because it is a pre-primary or primary. But friends, success of national education policy at higher education level in particular, as we belongs to, lies with 100% lies with implementation and process and quality and procedure and system and method, whatever we adopt and followed for the structure 5334. And that is why the policy makers also, if you gone through with the document of policy, national education policy, basic document of comprehensive document of 480 plus pages, you will come to know that from the year 2023 to 2040, from the year 2023 to the year 2040, within these 10 years, policymakers also expect 100% implementation of NEP during this decade, this tenure, 2030 to 2040, in its real sense. As I said in the beginning, it was accepted and approved in 2020. It was their plan. Because of Corona, all of us, we are helpless. But it was their plan. If we could implement from 21, then 21 to 30, gradual expansion of 5334, and 100% implementation in its real sense will take place from the decade, that is within 2030 to 2040, and specifically mentioned in national education policy document that in the year 2040 again the policy needed to be revised, considering the need and requirement and demand and expectations and situation and circumstances, whatever during 2040, we have to again reframe the policy. It means every after 20 years, one has to redraft, one has to revised, one has to reviewed the document, basic document like educational policy document. And that is why 2020 and 2040. But as I said in the beginning, first 3 years we lost in Corona. And that is why there is a delay in the implementation. Now coming to the point of our today's, already I have started my topic, that is NEP part of. If you go through with the document of NEP, I hope and I'm sure this may be the repetition and revision to all of those who have gone through with the document. But okay, this is my topic for today's session, to have a discussion on NEP since its beginning. So, as all of you might be aware that it is being mentioned and expected, or it is the expectation of the policymaker that 2035, today is 2024, now after 11 years, 2035, the concept of degree granting colleges, not possible to have such type of status to all colleges in the country, those who are affiliated to university. It is not possible. But it is the expectation of policymakers that those who are capable, those who are sufficient enough, resource wise, finance wise, etc., academic of course, they have to have degree granting colleges. That is de-affiliation from university. I am referring example of my university, to which I belongs to. That is Savitribai Phule, Pune University. For example, in Pune University, today the situation is, picture is, statistics is, condition is, almost 1,000 plus colleges, they are affiliated to Savitribai Phule Pune University. So one VC, one pro VC, one whatever, registrar, exam, whatever. It's very difficult to manage and control and guide and etc. to all these 1,000 plus colleges. And that is why the underlying concept approved and accepted and agreed in NEP is a decentralization of education through autonomy. And that is why right now also we are experiencing, many of you, those who are here as a participant, you may be the part of autonomous colleges of your respective institute. You are autonomous. It means you are affiliated to your concerned university, but you are autonomous by way of academics, by way of exam, by way of administration, except financial autonomy, at least till today. What will happen tomorrow, we don't know. So, autonomous colleges is one of the remedy, or it is one of the solution rather, to encourage and promote decentralization of education and putting and establishing control over the institutes and streamlining different systems. Now, as I said, decentralization means, for example, in Maharashtra, as I am in Maharashtra, so I am giving example of Maharashtra, not necessary because this is a online lecture, so I don't know, but some of the participants may be from other than Maharashtra state, obvious. But for example, in Maharashtra, there are 11 state universities. There are 11 state universities. For example, Shivaji University, Mumbai University, Solapur University, Pune University, Nanded University. Means names are different, but places are these. So there are 11 state universities, but astoundingly, as I am in Pune, I am quoting one example with figure. In Pune, today, I go through with the website of Maharashtra government and UGC. In Pune itself, there are 25 private universities are working. They are functioning. 25. And 3 universities are in pipeline. It may be announced in due course within short time. Point is, private universities, autonomous colleges. Now, the one other type of organization format has emerged. It is not yet started at a large scale, at least in Maharashtra, and that is cluster, cluster of colleges as cluster universities within that immediate vicinity or local part of 3 to 4 colleges, 5 to 4 to 5 colleges comes together. And it was the plan of Maharashtra government as I attended one session of Director of Higher Education of Maharashtra some 3-4 months before. He said that we are planning to start 40 cluster universities in Maharashtra in due course. 40. It was the plan. Why I am referring all these examples of cluster universities or private universities or autonomous colleges or degree granting colleges or whatever? Because it has a direct concern with national education policy in one way or other. Of course, nothing is mentioned in the document of NEP that you have to start this private university or you have to start cluster universities. Nothing is mentioned. But the philosophy and principles mentioned in national education policy, if we have to adopt, if we have to accept, if we have to implement it, then there is no way but to decentralize the system by way of different formats. Of course, every format has its own plus and minus, pros and cons. Private university has its own plus and minus. Autonomous colleges has its own plus and minus. Affiliated colleges, grantable colleges has its own plus and minus. This is not the session to discuss the pros and cons of all these format. I am just referring the situation, what is prevailing right now in different states, as I am referring particular Maharashtra state. So in Maharashtra, as I said, state universities are very limited and private universities are increasing day by day. Students are also taking admission in private universities. It may have some, they may have the other way angle to look upon. One additional type of format. Why I am referring all this, because after the announcement of NEP 2020, the number of all these forms has increased. For example, students, those who took the admission, of course, before 2020 also, it was also there. But after 2020, during Corona in particular, number of students, those who took the admission through ODL, Open Distance Learning, that is Open University. For example, in Maharashtra, Yashwantrao Savan Mukta Vidyapit, YCMOU, or at central level, IGNU. Symbiosis also, they have their own open university. So students, those who took the admission through this system, through this form, also increased. Now the impact and effect and I would say pressure Pressure in the sense competition established by Open University is also very remarkable. Again, it's a part of decentralization of education. Now, as all of us, we are in the field of higher education, in particular undergraduate, postgraduate level education, I hope. And we are very much eager and curious, and we try to keep ourselves update whatever circulars issued by UGC towards implementation of NEP in particular. So again, after 2020 till today, of course, I'm not exactly sure about the number, but 30 plus different circulars issued by UGC, University Grant Commission. Now in future, again, it will rename, that UGC will be renamed with some other, but it is not again point of discussion for today's session. So UGC, University Grant Commission, issued different circulars time to time for smooth implementation of national education policy. The circulars are around about 30. I'm sure that some of you have go through with that document, that is circulars, because we try to keep ourselves very update, and it is obvious, nothing wrong in it. For example, multiple education, multidisciplinary education, holistic education, number of multilingualism, likewise. So UGC issued the circulars, and autonomous colleges, universities, private universities, deemed universities, cluster universities, open universities, and at the end, institute, that is college, they are trying to percept, analyze, and implement it in their respective region. Now, what is important for me for this session as the next part of my discussion, as all of you are aware, I'm sure, because I asked organizer which topic I supposed to take. Then they said that this is a NEP orientation program. So you have to focus on just basics of NEP. Of course, in 2024, it is very odd to discuss on basics of NEP, because after 4 years and 4 months, every one of us are, we are very much experts and seasoned rather about NEP session. Number of certificates we have with us, online attendance of NEP. That is, for example, in lighter mood, I always used to say that choice-based credit system without choice. That we heard and we used to have a choice-based credit system. The reality is without choice. Students don't have any choice, but we used to say choice-based credit system. On the same line, we are very much expert and seasoned rather to listen about NEP since last 4 years. So whatever points I am discussing, it may be a revision and repetition to you. But okay, as it's a course for beginners and course for initial part of NEP, so I have to focus the same. Now, friends, right now there are 58, 59, 57, 56, 60 participants as I am referring. 1 plus 1 minus 2 plus 2 minus, now 57, now 58, now 59. It is obvious because this is the effect of Corona. I am in person 100% against to have such online session if we want to implement any practice in its real sense. But okay, there is no again session on debate on online plus or minus, pros and cons. Coming to the point, we are a part of educational family, educational fraternity members, we used to call ourselves. As there are 4 to 5 different members, as in our family also we have grandmother, grandfather, father, mother, whatever. So in the same way, in our educational fraternity, we have 4 to 5 members. One is management of the institute. Second is principal of the institute, principal, headmaster, whatever you name God, preferably principal. And then professors, means teacher. Better word is teacher instead of having professor. Otherwise, professor means grade, pay 9 or 8 or 10, or there is no again point of discussion. Table 13, table 14, table 12, table 11. There is no point of discussion. There is no need to discuss that part of as a professor. Teacher. The third category is teacher. Fourth, member number 4 is very important, and that is a central part of the system, and that are students. So management, principal, teacher, and student, these are the 4 basic minimum number of members in our educational fraternity group. Of course, without the role and contribution of government and society and university, all these 4 members, even if they try to work, it is of no use unless and until there is a support and freedom and even control and funding from government, guidance from the university, and acceptance by the society. So society, government, and university, these 3 additional members, they are also the part of educational family, educational fraternity members. But as I said, whatever number today, those who are present for this session, say 60, many of you, or many of us rather, I am also part of it. I am also a teacher. So we belongs to teachers community. Some of you may be in the capacity of management, or some of you may be the part of as a principal. And as we are closely associated with student as a central part of the system in 2 capacity. One, as student is our customer in a way. As I belongs to commerce, so I used to call student is our customer. It is not that way very correct word, but okay. And other, in our family also, some of our, maybe our son or grandson or whosoever, he is studying somewhere. So we know what is the perception, what is the logic, what is the experience, what is the maturity, what is the etc. of the student of today's time. Underline today's time. Why I am referring today's time? As because we are under the pressure of AI and chat GPT and techniques, technology and all that. So the student of 2000, student of 2010, and to the student of 2020 onwards, there is a drastic change one could experience. As I am quoting my example, I started as a teacher in 1990, 91. Since last 33 years, 34 years, I am in this profession. So I am experiencing the psychology or philosophy or whatever of students that time and today's time. I'm not saying that was wrong and today is correct. Every time has its own plus minus. But we have to accept the current situation, and the today's scenario is we are so much so tech savvy, either compelled to or forced to or whatever. But it is one part. Again, second, social media and all that. So as a teacher of today's era, even if you are experienced one, some of you may be experienced one, as in my case, I have last 33 years of experience. But unless and until I could manage or I could adopt this technology, it is of no use for the survival. That after 2020, all of us, we are very much connected with, practiced with all these technological changes. Okay, it is, there is no need to have a negative smell on it. We have to accept. Now, what I want to emphasize, my advice, my suggestion, my request to all. There are 22 principles. I may call it as a principle, or I may call it as a guidelines given in basic document of national education policy. My suggestion, advice, request to you all that please go through with all these 22 guiding principles rather, which are given in the beginning of the document itself, in both comprehensive document and gist of 63 pages. If you go through with these guiding principles, or I would say philosophy of national education policy, then we will be well prepared for successful implementation of NEP. So I will give not example, but I will refer one by one all these 22 principles given in NEP. And what is our role? Because now in 2024, now the stage is implementing NEP instead of discussing on NEP. Implementing at our own level. Implementation by state government, implementation by central government, implementation by university, implementation by private university, by cluster university, by deemed university, by open university, leave apart. They have to have, no doubt. All these authorities, including government, they have to have took a decision, policy decisions about implementation of NEP, no doubt. But at the end, we are the part of this system because student is at center and teacher is the mediator rather, through which student will get a benefit of NEP. So we are in a way middleman, management, principal, student, and in between we are university, college, student, and in between in implementing NEP. And that is why I hope that this Malviya, Madan Mohan Malviya Institute, they are trying to percolate the implementation of NEP through teachers in the society, among the students, etc. The first guiding principle I referred, recognizing, identifying, and fostering. I repeat these three words again: recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capability of each student. Unique capability of each student. Friends, as number of students, those who are in our class, those who are actually attending the class. Again, it is a matter of discussion and debate and etc. At how many students on the record and how many students actually present in the class. Because this is a universal unfortunate truth that on the record we may have 120, but actual attendance is very less. maybe 20%, 30%, 40%, at the max 50%. In some cases, there is exception, 100%, but okay. There is no need to discuss, or there is no need to raise any hand, sir. In my class, 100% attendance, 100, okay, welcome. Public prize felicitation is required to such college and to such teacher and to such institute. Leave apart. Point is, as a teacher, we have to identify and we have to recognize unique capabilities. And it is possible provided we spend the time. Particularly, this is applicable to first stage, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Because as you know, that structure, age-wise, it is being given. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, 7, 8, 9, up to 18. So, but now as all of us, as I asked to our organizer that all the participants are belongs to which category, in the sense, which section. So they said that higher education. So as a teacher in higher education, undergraduate, postgraduate, it is also possible, or one has to make it. We have to recognize and identify the capability of our students, those who are in our class. Capability by way of his likes and dislikes, interest. So accordingly, one can guide. For that purpose, counseling is required. Underline and expected that after your 1 hour session, 60 minutes, 55 minutes, 58 minutes, depends on the rules. Over and above 60 minutes or 1 hour session or 1000 minutes in a week, whatever, unless and until we spend and contribute and devote and invest and interact extra time with students other than classroom teaching, it's very difficult to recognize and identify the unique capabilities, which is first principle given in NEP. Because once you identify the capabilities of the students, then accordingly you can guide, guiding about stream, guiding about knowledge area, guiding about skill, guiding about research, number of. So as a teacher, one can easily do it, provided we spend extra time. Say for example, half an hour, 1 hour in a day, after our regular timing, because nowadays we are so busy in administrative work. Particularly, this is applicable to autonomous colleges. That is examination, administration. We are almost 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours after our teaching, we are spending to this. But it has no direct way with identifying the capabilities and recognizing the unique capabilities. It's our additional task in a sense. Exam work, admin work, paper setting, BOS, whatever. So this is first. Second one, achieving foundational literacy and numeracy by all students. Of course, it is particularly applicable to 5 plus 3 stage, I'm sure and I'm aware. But foundational literacy, basic literacy is very required. Concept, that is conceptual clarity, conceptual understanding is also one of the principle mentioned. Conceptual understanding. What is happening, unfortunate nowadays, that concepts are not clear. And if our concepts, maybe as I belongs to commerce. So what is the basic concept of commerce? What is the basic concept of marketing? What is the basic concept of accountancy? So if that concept is clear to the student, then afterwards in future he don't have any problem. But many times what is happening in the process of achieving this CGPA, cumulative grade points average, and HGPA, in the process of quantitative expansion of the performance, we lose, or we are not bothered about this conceptual clarity of the student, of the subject, domain knowledge, subject knowledge. So it is specifically being mentioned in, that is, foundational literacy, conceptual understanding, and numeracy. Friends, I am teaching to commerce college, maybe subject like accountancy and costing. Of course, calculators are allowed, no doubt. As per rules also, calculators are allowed to use. So it is not illegal or unethical. But we are so much so dependent on this computer and calculator and all these weapons, or I would say weapon in the sense, with these instruments, that we have forgotten that numerical knowledge of the student. Tables from, for example, tables from 2 to 30, 2 to 10, 2 to 20, for example. And in one session, I make this point, then one of the student asked me the question, why sir it is required? Because everything is available on net, everything is available on computer, AI helps us. So why to have? But friends, that numerical knowledge, capacity, skill, technique enhance the creativity at the end, enhance the analytical ability at the end. If you go through with the elders, those who studied during 60 and 70 and 40, and you may ask, within a shortest time, without using calculator, they make the counting. And current student, if there is mistake happens in pushing the button, using the button, and now there is no use of button, it is smartphone. So if we make the mistake in programming, everything is wrong. So that is why the second principle is achieving foundational literacy and numeracy by all students, in particular school. Because once the practice developed and concept clear at that level, then up to his death means death is a very odd term, but up to his next level of education, he will not have any problem. Because whatever we remembered during the age of 0 to 6, we remembered forever up to the last. This is psychological research. This is the research happened. And we also experienced it, that whatever we learned during the age of 6, up to 6, still we remembered it. And that is why that numeracy and foundational literacy is required. Now, as a teacher, flexibility is the next principle. What is the beauty of national education policy? Flexibility. There is no any hard and fast rule, static, rigidity. No rigidity by way of stream even. Arts faculty, commerce faculty, science faculty, engineering faculty, management faculty, law faculty. Even a student of commerce, if he want to have 2 credits through music, he can, and he may add in his total number of credits 132 or 176 or 220. Again, there is a variation. As all of you are aware, 3 years program, 4 years degree program, 5 years degree program. Again, this is not a point of discussion for today's session, but all of you got the point. So student of commerce faculty or students of commerce fraternity, if you identify his capability by way of music, so you may advise him that go through with the music course, run by institute, secure 2 credits, get the certificate, and deposit it in ABC, Academic Bank of Credit. All of you by this time, all of you are aware about this concept of ABC, Academic Bank of Credit. So there is no any hard separation. This is the underlying principle. A science student, though he is expert in physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, whatever, but if he want to learn any literature, Marathi literature, English literature, or if you want to learn any Sanskrit language, then he can. So there is no any hard separation and flexibility by way of stream. For example, science means only science. Commerce means only commerce. Accountancy, marketing, banking, costing, OC. No, these are there under the head major subjects. But along with major subjects, as all of you are aware, OE and G, that is general elective, open elective, etc. So flexibility and no hard separations, these are the two principles of NEP. Friends, what is my suggestion, advice? As I said in the beginning, please try to encourage the student, those who are in your class, that you are interested in what? No doubt you took the admission for commerce, you took the admission for science, you took the admission for arts, but as you are interested in music, you are interested in dance, you are interested in any drawing, the picture, so you may have continue with that art. You may secure 2 3 credits, of course. Major part of science, major part is of its basic domain knowledge only, either science or commerce or management or law or arts or whatever. But these additional in which he is having interest, it will be the part of his degree by way of CGPA. These are not the value added credits. These are the part and parcel of his degree. This is the basic difference of NEP and traditional education. Because it is not a bonus, it is a addition, it is not additional, it's a part and parcel of his 132 credits or 176 credits, whatever credits allotted by the autonomous college or university or private university. So this is next. Next is multidisciplinary and a holistic education. Multidisciplinary, as I said, you need to give a number of options. Friends, why the concept of cluster university emerged, or why the government is encouraging for private universities? The basic reason is to encourage and promote multidisciplinary approach and multidisciplinary attitude, because unless and until we are multidimensional, multidisciplinary, we learn multidisciplinary. Of course, our core discipline is important. Again, I am underlining the same. Commerce, so your core discipline is commerce, no doubt. But along with commerce, you may integrate, connect, associate with other disciplines also. Discipline of science, discipline of art, discipline of law, discipline of management, etc. So this multidisciplinary, now you realized why I mentioned the figures in the beginning of private universities and state universities and autonomous colleges and deemed universities and open universities. All these forms, now it's possible to have adopt the approach of multidisciplinary and holistic education. Holistic by way of integrity, well connected with last, and connect with society, connect with people. Because unless and until our education is holistic, it is of no use. If it is restricted only with individualism, it is of no use. because at the end we have to develop, we have to establish, we have to create, we have to generate, we have to make it a niche, that is a student of such student who have nation first attitude. So we have to generate student of nation first attitude student. My first choice, my first preference to nation, and all remaining next. But first choice to nation, then my family, then my etc etc. So it is possible only if we have that holistic approach. Pride of our nation, pride of our country, pride of our culture, pride of our history, pride of our number of. So that part is very crucial in this NEP. And as a teacher, one can, as I said in the beginning, 50 students attended our class, for example. Then you may guide them regarding this principles during our lecture or after our lecture, etc. Already I mentioned, but this is one of the principle again given in the NEP, that is emphasize on conceptual understanding. Emphasize on conceptual understanding. Very, very important. Friends, what happened? Students are very much expert in CGPA 9 plus or even 10. 9 CGPA means almost 80 plus percentage. O grade, no issue. But without knowing the concept of our basic discipline, and it is of no use. And that is why referring directory, referring dictionary, referring encyclopedia, referring basic material. E-material is also okay. I will say okay, not allowed, but okay. But over and above this e-material, Wikipedia and all that sources, website and all that, at visiting and attending and sitting and spending time in library, hardcore library, of using hard copy books. There may be a question from modern generation student that why there is a need to went in a library, because we have laptop, we have computer, we have mobile, we have pen drive, we have number of equipments through which we can easily go through. No doubt these are available, but the best way of grasping, analyzing, getting the idea, clarity of the concept, reading is reading has no any option. It is my perception, I may be wrong, but we learned during our school and college days visiting the library and go through with the books. And that is why it emphasizes the capacity of clarity of concept. And my advice, suggestion, request to all, for NAC, what is required? Okay, NAC people will go through with the accession book, and NAC people will go through with the visitor book in the. It is for the sake, not for the sake of NAC. How many students coming to the reading room and etc. But how many students really read the book? Read the book is very important. Basic book, not guide. Because this is the expectation of NEP. If we want to develop a student useful for nation, useful for the society, then he must be sound enough, knowledge enough, and for that reading is must. Because once your concepts are clear, your basics are clear, you are foundationally literate, then obviously it results into creativity and critical thinking, which is the next principle given in NEP. Creativity and critical thinking. Because nowadays innovation and creativity and incubation center, as per NAC criteria number 7, just I don't know exact 7 or 6, but okay. As per NAC, it is required to have your incubation center, your innovation center. So what is innovation and incubation center? Having one plate, name plate, and it is stuck up to the one room, under the name Innovation and Incubation Center without any equipment inside and without any meaning inside. So it is just for the sake of documentation and getting the good marks and good grade in NAC. I am not discussing this from NAC point of view, because how to document it we know through NAC, through DVV, and through different score. Again, this is not a topic for discussion, but okay. So because why I'm specifically mentioning this example, I attended one session and one reaction from one of the participants, sir, we have innovation and incubation center at our college. What you are saying? See, announcing and putting the inaugurating innovation and incubation center at college and giving one space for it is of no use unless and until the capacity of creativity and critical thinking is there among the student. That incubation, that innovation has meaningless or it is of no use. So that is why my advice, suggestion, request to all, spare some time with the students, informal discussion, and establish and imbibing that creativity and critical thinking among the, for example, today number of topics are there. We have to discuss with the students and get their, encourage their critical capacity, critical thinking, but for which what is important, spending time, extra time, more time, leisure time with the students. Otherwise, NEP is 100% good on paper, and your CGPA of the student will fantastic, grade of NAC fantastic, A plus, A double plus, 3.20, 3.30, 3.5. But if conceptual clarity is absent, if this critical thinking is absent, if this creativity part is absent, then it is of no use. Next, ethics and human and constitutional values. Through our example, as a teacher, one can put in front of them value system. What are the ethics? What are the human values? Only one credit course on human value is of no use. Only one credit course for environmental science is of no use. As the rule given by Supreme Court, as the decision given by Supreme Court, as it is being mandatory made by Supreme Court, that is why there is one credit course at second year level at SY or at PG, one credit for EVS. No doubt it is required. No doubt it is okay. But starting EVS course doesn't mean that the students have an environmental sense or student have that type of sense or that type of knowledge or that type of awareness or that type of curiosity or that type of expertise. Starting is one part, because rule given by UGC and university and government, that is why we may start EVS. It is of no use unless and until he is, as we are saying right now, that we are techno savvy. So on the same line, he must be environment savvy, in the sense he must have aware about all this pollution, air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, number of types of pollution, how to avoid, minimize, control, etc. So how it is possible? With the help of examples. Example from our own side and example as an institute. Otherwise, we ourselves only made indirect that no need to come to the class, we will conduct the exam. So ethical values is absent. Because nowadays in Pune, I am referring, it may be applicable to all cities, but in Pune, we are facing the problem of tie-up colleges. Tie-up colleges, all of you are aware that students used to attend the private coaching classes, and those who are taking admissions at private coaching classes, they are tied with some colleges. So only on the day of exam they appear and day of admission. In between, they are disappear and they are appear in class. Again, this is not a topic of discussion for today's session, but that tie-up college is a very serious issue and concern and hurdle in implementing NEP in its real sense. On record, 100%. CGPA 100%. NAC 100%. University compliance 100%. Government documentation 100%. Audit report 100%. Attendance 75%. Means 100%. So I'm not discussing that part because we are very much familiar and seasoned with all these systems: government system, university system, exam system, admin system. We are very much seasoned with. But if we want to implement and adopt concept of NEP in its real sense, then we also must be very ethically correct. Value, human values, constitutional values also. Sorry. Next principle is given in the basic draft, and that is promoting multilingualism and the power of language. Power of language. For example, right now, as my mother tongue is Marathi, आणि समजा मी आता माझं लेक्चर चालू असताना एक मराठीत वाक्य बोललो, तर लगेच मेसेज बॉक्समध्ये मेसेज येणार, सर वी डोंट नो मराठी, प्लीज मेक इट इन इंग्लिश. एकच वाक्य बोललो फक्त मी. इमिजिएट अर्धा सेकंड, नॉट अ हाफ सेकंड, immediate response, sir we don't know Marathi, please make it English. Okay, no doubt English is required, English is must, English is communication language, English is basic business language, but one must proud of our mother tongue, of our local language. I am not only say Marathi, as I am in Maharashtra, so Marathi. If I am in Tamil, or if I am in Karnataka, or if I am in Andhra Pradesh, we have to use your different state language. Nothing wrong. But because of this Maccalo impact, we are so much so seasoned with and associated with and impressed with and forced with to use English. अंग्रेजी के अलावा अगर अन्य कोई भाषा का कोई इस्तेमाल करता है, उपयोग करता है, तो उसे इस नजर से देखा जाता है कि अरे ये तो ऑर्थोडॉक्स है, इसमें कुछ मतलब नहीं है, is no meaning, is having less knowledge. And those who are expert in English only, they are good, they are knowledgeable. Underlining principle in NEP is promoting multilingualism and the power of language. 3 languages: mother language, that is Matrubhasha; national language, maybe Hindi. Why I am saying maybe Hindi? Because some of the states are not Hindi as their national language, but okay, Hindi. English is okay, English is required, so you have to use. But English is not the only language, not the only language. As I said, multilingualism. Sanskrit actually is very important, but many of, including me, we are not that way very much expert and knowledge about Sanskrit. So but of course, it is not being mentioned in NEP that one has to make Sanskrit as a compulsory. There was a wrong perception, unfortunate and deliberately spread among the in the society by the those who are against NEP. They made it that Sanskrit is being no, nothing is mentioned about compulsion about Sanskrit, but भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा का समावेश संस्कृत भाषा में बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से किया गया है. And that is why if we start Sanskrit as one of the second language, third language, what is wrong in it? अगर कोई संस्था ऐसा निर्णय लेती है कि संस्कृत में हम एक विषय पढ़ाएंगे और एक विषय संस्कृत होगा, बाकी नहीं, So why to against? And it is not compulsory to all. It is not mandatory to all. It is voluntary. Those who want, who can, they can. And those who don't, they may continue with English. They may continue with Hindi. They may continue with their local language. No problem. Bhasha. Mitro, Bhasha is very, for example, whenever Modi ji used to visit foreign states, foreign countries, they used to have in Hindi only. It doesn't mean that Prime Minister don't know English. He is very much expert. But why? And now because of the advanced technology with AI or all these techniques, even if I am referring English, if you are belongs to Tamil, you can get it through Tamil. So there is no any that way hurdle. But one must have a that type of sense. मुझे राष्ट्रभाषा आती है, मुझे अंग्रेजी आती है, मुझे मराठी आती है, as I belongs to मराठी, मुझे संस्कृत भी आती है. Good. I am also trying to learn Gujarati. I am also trying to learn Kannada because Kannada is also near to my Maharashtra. Gujarati is near to my Maharashtra. Then why? Of course, as there are a number of languages in our state country, so it is difficult to have all languages. But at least 4 to 5 languages must. And NEP has focused that only. Next, promoting and that is focusing rather, not to say promoting, focusing on regular formative assessment for learning. I repeat the exact sentence used in document. Focusing on regular formative assessment for learning. Now the days are gone. 3 hours exam, only exam, classroom exam. That is exam within the classroom. Days are gone. Regular formative assessment for learning with number of choice, number of options. Group discussion, presentation, tutorial, field visit, research report, individual interaction, whatever. There are minimum 10 to 15 options are available. And it must be regular. It doesn't mean that session started in June and you make it in October. No. In June, in July, in August, in September, in October, all these 4 5 months, every month, different ways, different modes. You have to evaluate the performance of the student one way or other. Friends, as a teacher, one can easily do it. Internal, external. And that is why there is a 40%, 60%. 40% internal evaluation, 60% semester end exam, 50-50. In some cases, 30-70. Depends. But popular is 40-60. At PG, 50-50, whatever. So regular formative assessment. Only exam at the end of the semester, nowadays are gone. And this is the beauty of, or this is the outcome of this NEP. And it is now mandatory. And it is good rather. In a way, every, we are also as a teacher are alert about. Of course, there are difficulties in conducting exams about MCQ and all that. But again, this is not a topic of discussion for today's session. That is, what are the difficulties and how to overcome these difficulties. But point is, focus on the regular formative assessment for learning. Next point. As time is limited, that is why I am referring at first. Next is that is extensive use of technology. Extensive use of technology. Right now, what is going on? You are somewhere. I don't know whether you are listening or whether you are etc. Whether you are physically there. But okay, with assumption that all of you are here, no doubt. Online. Extensive use of technology. I am considering my age and my generation. It doesn't mean that I am against to use the technology. In person, I am using Apple mobile of 16 type. recently. I don't want to publicize my mobile using. Mine is, I'm not against to use technology or use of technology in education, but technology with ethics, technology with values, technology with some balance is must. Though it is being mentioned in NEP that one has to emphasize on use of technology at extensive level. The word extensive is used in NEP document. Of course, again, it has some limitation. In our country. We have a problem of net and we have a problem of a number of connectivity and all that. But one needed to focus on, emphasize on, concentrate on, plan for use of technology. Of course, technology has its own advantages also. Number of advantages, I would say. And since Corona time, we are experiencing that advantage also. Next, respect for diversity and respect for local context. Now I want to focus on this point in particular to the teachers like you and me. We are on board of studies, maybe some of you maybe. So while framing the syllabus for, even if you are not a member of board of studies, you can design your own lecture plan, teaching plan. There is no any hard, there is no any other way obstacle. So while planning your teaching, while planning your teaching plan, while planning your educational semester plan, you may respect for the local context. For example, as I am teaching in Pune in one college. So while giving field project to my students for MCOM, while giving research project to my students for MCOM, as I am teaching for MCOM, that is why I am giving the example of MCOM, Master of MCOM, Master of Commerce. What is the local need of Pune city? For example, if you know Pune, then for example, Lakshmi Road is very famous in Pune. Shastri Road is very famous in Pune. Number of places. Camp is one of the famous area in Pune. So business style in Lakshmi Road, business style in Camp, as I am belongs to commerce, that is why I am giving such type of example. Considering the local context, you have to assign the projects. You have to assign the homework, home assignment. Correct word is. So that student will have interest also. While giving the example and while framing the syllabus, one needed to give the consider the local context also. Because, for example, what is going on in Germany and what is going on in America for business, no doubt as a knowledge it is required. But student who pass out from my college after BCom, after MCom, if you want to start his business, then he must have a capacity and knowledge and maturity about his own area where he will start his business, either in Pune or in Maharashtra or in other district where he stays rather. So very important principle given in NEP, and that is local context. Of course, you need to give diversity, respect for diversity. It doesn't mean that you should not taught what is going on at international level and what is going on in other states. You have to have, but your emphasis should be on local context. What is required? What will be the useful to that student? Those who are in that area. For example, if your college is in semi-urban, in rural, in metros, in Mumbai, in Chennai, in Madras, whatever, Bangalore. So you have to consider the local reference. You can't say that as it is the syllabus developed by UGC university, I will not change. You have to have, otherwise you will kick off. Kick off means students will took the admission somewhere else. And that is why local context is of utmost important. Next is synergy in curriculum across all levels of education. Very important. Synergy. Otherwise, the syllabus of 5, 3, 3, 4, if it has no any connection, if has no any association with 3 years degree, 4 years degree, and 5 years degree program, then it is of no use. So synergy must be established, should be established in curriculum across all levels of education, including higher education, including pre-primary, including primary, including secondary. It is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 years, 4 years, 5 years degree program along with PhD, doctorate of philosophy. So nowadays, what is happening that what we learned during 10th, again we repeat the same in degree level. What we taught in degree level, again we repeat the same at PG level, postgraduate level. So lack of synergy is responsible for this repetition. So in order to avoid that repetition, there must be synergy in curriculum across all levels of education. It is specifically being mentioned in the document. Next, teachers and the faculty are the heart of the learning process. So the word which is being used in NEP is that we are heart of learning process, teaching learning process. So teacher and the faculty has a very significant value and importance in this. Again, there is no point of discussion, and this is not a topic of discussion whether it is CHB teachers or part-time teachers or grantable teachers or non-grantable teachers or ad hoc teachers or permanent teachers, whatever. Every teacher is important, is significant, and is a heart of teaching learning process. As I said, student is at center and we are mediator. Through teacher only, one can implement the policy in its real sense with success. Next, a light but tight regulatory framework. I repeat, light but tight regulatory framework to ensure integrity, transparency, and resource efficiency. I repeat the sentence again. Light but tight regulatory framework to ensure integrity, transparency, and resource efficiency. Friends, number of regulatory bodies. Of course, as a teacher, it is not directly applicable to us, but we are a part of administration, we are a part of examination, we are part of college, we are part of university. So obviously, UGC, government, central government, state government, joint director, higher educational director, number of AICT, number of bodies. Now they are controlling higher education. Now the regulation control will be light but tight. Why? To ensure integrity, transparency, and resource efficiency. Nowadays, the transparency is absent. For example, any student come to us and he make a demand that you charge so and so rupees amount of fee. Please give us detailing. Then we will say, no, no, it is not mandatory, it is not compulsory, we will not give it. Why not? As you are charging so much amount of fee, then you need to give explanation to him with logical breakup. But nowadays, as in commerce, cost of production and maximum retail price. It is mandatory to announce the price. It is not mandatory to announce the cost. Hmm. So if transparency is there, at the end point is, if transparency is there, student will also come to you and they join your institute. Otherwise, if they have such type of perception and impression and experience that it is a in this institute there is no any transparency, some secrecy is unnecessary secrecy is developed and established. It is of they will not join. And our resources, physical resources, even mental resources like teachers. Nowadays, for example, in some institutes, I know that it is not allowed to visit other institutes to deliver a lecture. Why? It is must. As someone is inviting you to deliver a lecture, it is on the contrary, it is a goodwill of the institute. But in some institutes, I know that it is restricted. They are not allowed to attend for seminars and webinars and lectures. But NEP make it that there must be a resource efficiency. You must efficiently and effectively use your resources, including even human resource. And that is why if I'm invited, for example, right now I'm in front of you as a resource person maybe. So it is a matter of pride of my institute that one of our faculty is delivering a lecture at so and so. So it's a optimum use of resources, including human resource, including physical resource, including building, including number of. Next, outstanding research. I will finish by 5 minutes. I know the time. By 5, I will finish. So, outstanding research. In national education policy, National Research Foundation, some of you, all of you are aware about NRF, National Research Foundation. Through NRF, funding will be diverted. Diverted means funding will be given. So, promotion of research for outstanding research. Outstanding research, of course, means which is useful to the society at the end and which is useful to the our domain knowledge, basic knowledge, fundamental knowledge. These are the two parameters and criteria. And there should be continuous review of progress based on sustained research. What is mentioned in this? Continuous review of progress based on sustained research by the educational experts. That is why we used to conduct progress report viva every after 6 months. So it should not be the formality and compliance, document compliance. It must happen in its real sense. What you are searching, what you are researching, what you are working, it must be reviewed by some experts. Experts from the society, experts from the government, expert not from government direct, from the society, from the educational fraternity, university, etc., industry. So that quality of research will maintained and developed and established and enhanced and increased. Next, a rootedness and pride in India. शिक्षा का भारतीयकरण, ये जो हम शब्द सुनते हैं ना, शिक्षा का भारतीयकरण. We must proud of our country, our tradition, our history. Those are positive and good part of. जो हमारी अच्छी चीजें हैं, इतिहास में लिखी है, इतिहास की है, परंपरा है अच्छी. We have to accept. Machiavelli philosophy had shadowed that. They avoid. मगर हमारी जो अच्छी ज्ञान परंपरा है, अच्छी ज्ञान परंपरा, आज के समय में भी वो वन कैन इम्प्लीमेंट, उपयोगी है. तो वन हैज टू मेक, वन मस्ट बी प्राउड ऑफ. एज वी सेड, इंडिया इज माय कंट्री एंड ऑल ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स एक्सेट्रा. भारत मेरा देश है, सारे भारतीय मेरे बांधव है. भारत की परंपराओं का मुझे अभिमान है. ये जो परंपरा है, इसका अभिमान होना, ये एनईपी का फिलोसफी है. दैट इज द रूटेडनेस एंड प्राइड इन इंडिया. Next principle, as time is available, time is short, so I'm running fast. Education is a public service. It is specifically being mentioned in the document. Education is not a private service. Education is a public service. It is not a product. Education is a public service. And last one, please connect first one and last one. Afterwards, I will connect and conclude. Last is point number 22. Substantial investment in a strong, vibrant, public education system. I repeat the sentence. Substantial investment in a strong, vibrant public education system, as well as the encouragement and facilitation of true, listen and remember next word, of true philanthropic private and community participation. Philanthropic private and community participation. Complete sentence is substantial investment in a strong, vibrant public education system, as well as the encouragement and facilitation of true philanthropic private and community participation. So now, those who want to invest, philanthropic investment, it is not an investment for profit. It will encourage, but people will definitely invest in such type of educational institutes where you are focusing and recognizing and identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each student, which is the first principle of guiding principle of NEP. So if educational fraternity members are capable enough to identify and recognize and foster the unique capabilities of each students and give encouragement to these capabilities, then definitely people, private people, will come forward to invest, to donate funding to education, particularly higher education. Of course, as concurrent list, state list, central list, I don't want to discuss and I don't want to be involved in that. Again, it is a topic of discussion and debate at the end. So, friends, I will conclude my session from my side that the NEP was announced in 2020 in school at school levels. At in some states it has started. In Maharashtra, by next year they will start. Hope so. But in higher education, already they have started 3 years, 4 years, 5 years degree program. Of course, just last year. So now we are in process. There is no any point to that is make any final conclusion that it is 100% good or it is 100% wrong, because after 25, 26, 26, 27, one will realize the benefit or understood the exact impact of it. So in a way, as a teacher of higher education, one must have a knowledge about 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure. Unless and until we have a knowledge of that structure, we will not succeed or we will not be successful in our higher education. But at higher education, if we are in syllabus framing or we are teaching our own paper, one must give importance to promoting multilingualism, language, and our Indian knowledge system. That is Bharatiya Jnana Parampara. भारत का अभिमान, भारत की संस्कृति, भारत का इतिहास जो अच्छा है वो स्टूडेंट के सामने आना चाहिए, और definitely it will happen or it will come into practice through our efforts. And I'm sure that all of you, including I'm also part of it, I'm also one of the teacher in one college, so we will make it or we will contribute it, and we will try our level best to implement NEP in its real sense, what is a letter and spirit. Thank you. I don't know any question answers are required or are there. Organizers, I'm done from my side. Referee sir, so I hope that all the organizers have all of you are on off your mic. So if you want to ask question, you are free. Otherwise, will. What is the timing? Timing is up to, because I started at 3:30. If you want to ask question, then I will, because they make me co-host, so I may unmute yourself. Otherwise, we will conclude. Thank you. अगर किसी को पूछना है तो you are welcome. Organizers are not there. रफीक सर, आप हैं? अगर किसी को पूछना है तो मैं माइक आपका ऑफ ऑन कर दूंगा.
सर उनका माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए, करोगे सर?
हॅलो, हा बोला ना.
सर माइक अनम्यूट करोगे सर पार्टिसिपंटचे?
पाटील,
म्हटलं पार्टिसिपंटचे माइक अनम्यूट करू का सर म्हटलं?
हा करा 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 करा. म्हणजे त्यांना काही विचारायचं असेल तर.
येस येस.
अदरवाइज आता वन बाय वन दे आर नाव लिव्हिंग. Number was 60, now it is 53. As I announced, of course, from my side, that lecture is over. That is why they may be there. पण आता माईक हे केला असेल तर कोणाला विचारायचं असेल तर विचारू शकता. ओके, ठीक आहे.
सर आय थिंक क्वेश्चन नाही सर.
हा ठीक आहे.
येस येस येस. थँक्यू
अशी
सर.
अपेक्षा असतेच, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही.
येस सर.
हॅलो सर.
रुल सर,
हा.
एक मिनिट. हां, रोल
हा
53.
सर, एक एक प्रश्न आहे. कदाचित सेशनमध्ये डिस्कस झाला असेल, थोडा रेंज नव्हती, मला ऐकू आलं नाही. सर, NEP थ्रू किंवा मराठी मातृभाषेतून शिक्षणातून मेडिकल फील्डमध्ये रिसर्च शी किती आपण त्याला बेनिफिशियल किंवा त्याला आपण जोडू शकतो की किती? कारण मेडिकल रिसर्च किंवा मेडिकल टर्म्स ह्या पूर्णतः इंग्लिश
बरोबर आहे.
आहेत.
नाही नाही,
आणि
आहे.
मग आपण जर मेडिकल किंवा हायर एज्युकेशन जे एम्स आहेत, तिथे जर आपण समजा एम्स महाराष्ट्रात नागपूरमध्ये आले आणि तिथं आपण मराठी शिकवतोय आणि याचा पुढील संशोधनामध्ये आता जसे लेटेस्ट मध्ये
लक्षात.
आपण.
प्रश्न कळला,
हा
प्रश्न
हा
कळला, प्रश्न कळला.
ओके, थँक्यू.
आता तसंच मग कोणीतरी इंजिनिअरिंगचं विचारेल, कोणीतरी ह्याचं विचारेल. मुद्दा असा आहे, लँग्वेज ही त्याला भीती नाही वाटली पाहिजे, हाच मुद्दा आहे. बाकी इंग्रजीमधनं असणारे त्याच्या टर्मिनॉलॉजी, त्याची व्होकॅब्युलरी, त्याची डिरेक्टरी, त्याची डिक्शनरी ती इंग्रजीमध्येच आहे. मेडिकल शिक्षण मराठीत द्यावे असं कोणीही म्हणलेलं नाही आणि असं कुठेही म्हणलेलं नाही. इंजिनिअरिंग शिक्षण मराठीत द्यावे असं कुठेही म्हणलेलं नाही. त्याला त्या भाषेचा भीती नाही वाटली पाहिजे. आता भीती वाटते लोकांना. तुम्ही बायलिंग्वल शिकवा ना. मराठी असलेल्या माणसाला तुम्ही इंग्रजी मराठीमधनं शिकवा ना, की ज्याला त्याच्यातनं गोडी उत्पन्न होईल. आणि त्यामुळं ह्याच्यापुढे मेडिकलचं शिक्षण मराठीत मिळणार असलं काही नाही. मराठीत मिळणार म्हणजे काय, इंग्रजीचे शब्द गुगलमधनं मराठी ट्रान्सलेट करणे, याला काही मराठीकरण म्हणत नाही. मुद्दा असा आहे, त्याला भाषेचं ज्ञान झालं पाहिजे. याचा अर्थ त्याला त्याची भीती नाही वाटली पाहिजे मातृभाषेतनं. असा प्रश्न आहे. माणूस हा पहिल्यांदा विचार करतो आणि मग कृती करतो. विचार हा नेहमी आपल्या मातृभाषेत करतो. आता सुद्धा मी इंग्रजीत जे लेक्चर दिलं, सो आय फर्स्ट मेक इट इन माय लँग्वेज अँड देन कन्वर्ट इट इन इंग्लिश. त्यामुळे त्याला ते हे आहे. बाकी मेडिकल मराठीमधनं शिकवा असं कोणीच म्हणलेलं नाहीये. इव्हन मराठी सुद्धा मराठीत लोक शिकवत नाही झाली. हिंदी सुद्धा हिंदीत शिकवत नाही, तर बाकीचं काय. गमतीचा भाग सोडू. आणि त्यामुळं आपल्याला भाषेचं फक्त तुम्ही ते वाचा नीट, बेसिक डॉक्युमेंट मध्ये तुम्हाला कळेल. त्याने जे हे म्हणले ना, पॉवर ऑफ लँग्वेज अँड प्रमोटिंग मल्टीलिंग्वॅलिझम, हे त्यासाठी म्हणले की आपल्या भारताच्या इतक्या सुंदर भाषा आहेत, त्या सुंदर भाषा त्याला कधी कळणार अदरवाईज. म्हणजे आपल्याला ते वेटोळ्या कधीच कळत नाहीत कन्नडमधले आंध्रमध्ये गेलो तर. तर थोडी आपण एक क्युरिओसिटी डेव्हलप करावी. तुमचा बेसिक प्रश्न जो होता तो हाच आहे, की मग संशोधन कसं होणार? हे त्यांनी इंग्रजीतच करावं. त्यांनी कुठे सांगितलंय? पण ते त्याला तुम्हाला दोन्ही भाषेतनं सांगता यायला पाहिजे. कळलं पाहिजे त्याला. एवढाच भाग आहे. बाकी नेक्स्ट.
थँक्यू सर.
एनी क्वेश्चन?
म्हणजे अगदी एक उदाहरण असं आहे, की आपली मराठी भाषा 52 शब्दामध्ये समावलेली आहे आणि इंग्रजी भाषा 26 शब्दामध्ये समावलेली आहे. स्वर आणि व्यंजन 21 आणि 5 इंग्रजी AEIOU आणि 21 आणि इथं मराठी 52 शब्दात आहे. आपली प्रगल्भ भाषा आहे. पण अर्थात परत तोही वाद करायचा नाही. मग विच इज हे चांगली कुठली इंग्रजी का मराठी? जी भाषा समजेल, ज्ञानभाषा त्याची व्हायला पाहिजे. ज्ञानभाषा जर व्हायची असेल तर तुम्हाला आपली मातृभाषा यायला पाहिजे. अदरवाईज इंग्लिश इज ओके, हिंदी इज ओके, तमिळ इज ओके. उगाच आपलं इंजिनिअरिंगचं सिलेबस मराठीत करणं म्हणजे काय? जसं हल्ली करतात ते मराठीत पाट्या करा म्हणजे काय? त्याचं फक्त मराठी करतात. त्याला काही मराठी म्हणत नाही. तर तसं ते आहे. त्यामुळं त्यातला सेन्स मी म्हणलं ना शेवटचं माझं वाक्य तुम्ही ऐकलं असेल, लेटर अँड स्पिरिट ऑफ NEP. त्याचा सेन्स लक्षात घ्यायला पाहिजे. कुठल्याही गोष्टीचा अतिरेकी हे न करता. नाहीतर आपलं भाषेचा अभिमान आणि बहुतेक जण हे मराठी करतात. त्यांची सगळ्यांची मुलं इंग्रजी शाळेत असतात. त्यामुळे तसं काही हे नसतं. म्हणजे मराठी म्हणजे मराठीबद्दल किंबहुना मराठीत आपण बोलतो कारण आपल्याला इंग्रजी येत नाही म्हणून मराठीत बोलतो. असं अनेक वेळा अवस्था आहे. दॅट इज ऑल्सो नॉट
सर
एक्सपेक्टेड इन NEP.
सर याला
ठीक आहे
जोडून
आपण
सर याला जोडून एक प्रश्न होता म्हणजे की जेव्हा फर्स्ट इंग्लिश डिक्शनरी 1750च्या दरम्यान जेव्हा पब्लिश झाली तेव्हा मिनिमम 40,000 शब्द होते. आता ते वाढून 10 लाख शब्द झालेले आहेत. 10 लाख जास्त आहेत त्यापेक्षा. तर मग आपली मराठी भाषांनी आपण मराठीकरण किंवा मराठी ट्रान्सलेशन्स करण्याच्या वेळेमध्ये आपण ते आपला मराठी भाषेचा शब्दसंग्रह वाढवला नाही का? आपण ते इंग्लिश शब्द घेतले नाहीत का? त्याला मराठीकरण करण्यामध्ये आपला वेळ खर्च केला.
ठीक आहे ते खरं आपलं काम नाही बाबा. तो जो त्यांचा आवडीचा विषय असतो ज्यांचा. तुम्ही कुठल्या फॅकल्टीचे?
इंग्लिशच आहे सर.
मग ठीक आहे ना.
इंग्लिश.
उगा आपला आपला विषय बघावा. दुसऱ्याचं झाकून ठेवून आपलं हे करू नये. त्यामुळं भाषेवाले करतायत, मराठी भाषेचे लोक करतायत, प्रयत्न करतायत. चला नेक्स्ट. Otherwise, I will conclude. Thank you for attending physically. I don't know mentally, but physically
Yes.
all of you
Thank
attended
you, sir.
till last. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. धन्यवाद.